Fertility, mortality, and migration are key population dynamics that drive population change, affecting population growth and structure in Kenya.
One of them is fertility. Fertility meaning the bearing of children, and the other factor is mortality. Mortality is deaths, and the other aspect is a dynamic all of a driver is migration, be it internal migration or international migration.
The 2025 Kenya Population and Development Conference, organized by the National Council for Population and Development with its key stakeholders, brought together experts, researchers, policymakers, and program implementers to discuss issues of population dynamics and sustainable development in navigating the future.
The population is growing at a rate of 1 million per year, and it is projected to grow up to 70.2 million by the year 2050.
As population increases, then counties need to make appropriate legislations to ensure that they are allocating resources towards implementation of population issues.
Through the Kenya Council for Population and Development, Kenya is among the first countries in East Africa to implement population policy through family planning as a key policy guideline aimed to reduce mortality rates and increase life expectancy.
Some of the strategies that NCBD, the government is doing through NCBD, is to manage the population with the available resources. And to manage the population, people may misunderstand this issue of managing the population. Managing the population doesn't mean that we are controlling the population. We are telling the people to stop giving birth. But we are saying, the government is saying, can we give births? Can we bear children with the proper planning, with a lot of spacing?
With about 13% of women and 6% of men aged between 15 to 49 years reported to have sexually transmitted infections, various policymakers and program implementers are tapping into family planning policy among the youths in efforts to raise a generation that can be accounted for and harness the youth's potential.
Family planning is a development agenda, because if we don't speak about contraceptives now, we'll have an outburst like we already are experiencing, especially for young people of the generations to come. And we'll have generations that we cannot cater for as a country.
Gender is also among the key areas of concern in matters of population dynamics. Women empowerment is identified as a major policy that drives economic participation.
One of the critical commitments we are tracking with the counties is under economic empowerment for women and marginalized population. It stood out in most counties, and now we are pushing that policies be developed or initiated in the respective counties.
For some times we've had a lot of challenges with people accepting the fact that GBV exists, and it's not an issue of women or an issue of men. So it's important that organizations and individuals and governments really work together to ensure that people have information to know what is that one thing that you can call GBV and what is that which is not. So it's important that populations know and communities understand what GBV is, so that they can be able to, one, know their rights, two, be able to know their reporting structures, so that when it occurs, they are able to report.
However, the National Council for Population and Development highlights the lack of sufficient and accurate data regarding immigrants as a major challenge hindering their effectiveness in policy making.
Don't have the data on migration, and which is encompassing migration, mobility, and urbanization. And this is one of the aspects that we are bringing into this international conference.
With a lot of dependence on donor funding, Kenya's financial stability and promotion of the universal health coverage is hindered. The policy implementers are calling upon the government to put in measures that enhance financial stability.
As a country, I feel like we really rely on donor funding, and it's time that we start even talking about our own domestic financing, because we pay taxes.
We are alive to the fact that much of the funding, much of the activities that we do as a continent rely on external funding. That's a very top challenge that we are currently experiencing. And I feel that as a continent, there's more that we need to do to ensure that we are sustainable, that we can address our issues as they come up.
Population growth puts pressure on adequacy of social services, hence the need for proper planning. Reporting for UNCTV, my name is Mwikali Jacqueline.
UNCTV, empowering you.